Hey guys, I'm Steven, and today we're going to take a look at 3DStory. Now, if you've been following along with the workflow so far, you've seen that we've been able to use all these different applications within the 3DEXPERIENCE platform. Because we've been doing this within our platform, we've been able to not only work in conjunction with each other, but also kind of have a centralized location for everything. So because we're nearing the end of this project, it's only natural that now we need to actually communicate what we've been doing within this project. So here comes 3DStory. Now, if you're familiar with typical slide presentation applications, it's very similar, but however, because it's inside of the environment, it's just going to make things even easier for us. And we can also share these stories with people that are not inside of the platform. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to do is actually select a template for our project. Now, you can edit anything that goes into these templates, but first you need to go ahead and select one to be applied. So kind of scrolling down here, I'm going to go ahead and start off with this one. That looks pretty good. And I'm going to select to publish to my Circular Saw project community. All right, so we've started our story and we have the template applied, and you can see that we have these different slides to the right hand side. Now I really only need to use this first one here, so I'm going to go ahead and actually remove these next four. Okay, it's very easy for me to do that, and when I'm ready to add in some more slides later, I can do so with that big plus sign. And on the left hand side here, you're going to see where the majority of your workflow is actually going to happen. So these images, GIFs, and videos, and even the 3D data is actually going to be pulled from these communities. So as you are working and you're publishing these images and these videos, that's going to be all accessible through these menus here. All right, so those are the three, and you can also put in sounds. You can upload these from your computer. It could be music if you wanted that along with your story. You can put in text boxes, and you can upload different types of files, right? Notice how you can also just click and drag those files into here. So what I'm going to do is go ahead into my images, and I'm going to drag in my render image that I made inside of X Studios. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to remove this internal box. We don't need it. It's pretty easy to just click on it. You got this garbage can icon for delete. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag these down here. Now, if I want to add an image from my computer, first I need to go ahead and create a cell for this image. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this big box down here, and you're going to see we got this cell split either vertically or horizontally. So I'm going to do a vertical, and I'm going to go ahead and drag this over to the left-hand side. All right, so I got a nice box for whatever I want to put in there. I'm going to go ahead and adjust some of these other cells so that things fit in a little bit nicer. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and fix the year, and then I'm going to go ahead and name this project that looks good. Now, if I wanted to tile the way this image is cropped a little bit differently, I can just select that image, and you see we got this blue pencil icon right in the middle. And now it's just sort of selecting where I want the focal points to kind of be. So that's a little too high. Let me go ahead and click down a little bit. And that looks pretty good. All right, I just kind of wanted a nice preview of our circular saw. All right, cool. And then the last thing I want to do is go ahead and upload an image. So if I want to upload, for example, a logo, and it's not going to be inside of our database to begin with, what I can do is go ahead and upload one. So I can select this button to add new images, and I can go ahead and grab the ones from my computer that I want to use. So if these images, again, were already inside of our community, I wouldn't have had to do this, but because I'm grabbing this from my local drive, I had to upload the media. So what I can do is just click and drag this into the cell that I've created for it. You can see that I got our logo inside there, and that's looking pretty good. So just some final adjustments here. All right, so let me kind of take this a step further and customize this to really represent us a little bit better. So if I take a look at the left-hand side, one of the tabs we have available is for theme. Now, theme adjusts the color of different things inside of our story. So I might say that, you know what, this one's looking pretty good, but maybe I'd like to make this blue a little bit darker, like that. All right, so you can customize any of these after the fact as well, but you do have some default options to pick and sort of start your palette off of, and then you can go ahead and edit everything on top of that. All right, so that's looking pretty good. I do want to add in an additional page here. If I take a look at the left-hand side, we do have this one transition option. So this is going to become a playable story, right? So the way that our scenes are going to transition is going to depend on these options here. I might go ahead and do slide up just for, the sake of argument, but you can select whichever one looks best to you and then kind of continue on. The next thing I'm going to do is, because I'm starting off with a blank page here, I'm going to go ahead and adjust the way that the cells are aligned. So for here, what I'm going to do is for 2 cells, I'm going to see that one looks pretty good to me. So I'm going to go ahead and use this for my next page. All right, so 2 things I want to do is add in an image to the right-hand side and then some text to the left-hand side. So I'm going to go back into my uploaded images here. I'm going to drag in this component that got updated. All right, now with this picture put in, I think this is a little bit too bright. First, what I'm going to do is stretch this over this way a little bit to make more room for the text. And then I'm going to go ahead and apply that theme that I have customized for this project. There we go. That's looking pretty good. So now I'm going to go ahead and add in some text. This rich text allows me to adjust additional parameters. And then what I'm going to go ahead and do is make this size 36. I'm going to type in new clip design. I'm going to place this right here. Okay. I'm going to put in another one of these. So I'm just going to duplicate this just to make it a little bit easier for myself. Let me add in some bullets. Same material as old design, which is going to be ABS. Decreased volume, increased strength. Now I'm kind of running out of room here, so why don't I go ahead and adjust this font size. 24 is probably good. Next steps. Simulation for load bearing and frequency. Natural frequency, of course. Cool. Adjust this a little bit further, and that's looking very good to me. Very easy for me to use the work that was already done on the platform to create this communication for what our project was. I'm going to make one more slide here, and then I'll be all set. For the last slide, I'm going to go ahead and put in some of that 3D CAD data. So I'm going to go ahead and select this and add in my saw project. All right, and there it is. So that's about it. You kind of see where this is going. It's very simple to set up these slides to communicate what it is that was done in this project. So now all that's left is to test this out. So I'm going to go back to this first slide here and hit play. You're going to see that this is the first part. Hit next. All right, and here is that 3D CAD data. All right, that looks good. So now all that's left is to go ahead and publish our work. So I'm going to go ahead and hit this icon down here to save and publish. And I have 2 options here. I can export this as a PDF, or I can publish this to the community. So this will be circular saw updates presentation. And I'll go ahead and publish this. All right, and now that that is published, I can bump back to our forum here through 3D Swim, and our project is right there, and we can go ahead and play it and then show this to whomever needs to see this. So a very easy to use application, but it's a very important part of the workflow because you need to be able to discuss and demonstrate what it is that was done in this project. All right, as always, if you need any help with this application or any other 3DEXPERIENCE apps, either give us a call or visit our website and we'd be happy to assist you. Thanks, guys.